That's a very good morning to you all. Thank you for joining us at our open day this morning. Thank you for braving the elements. We try to get the day right for you, but not quite. It's obviously beautiful days around. But nonetheless, a very warm welcome to you on this day. We're certainly looking forward to sharing our story with you in word and presentation, and then thereafter taking you around our school. I think very much what you see today is what every day is about. We certainly haven't sort of window dressed or gone too far out the way. We did sweep the corridors a little bit and hang up a few of the cricket bags. I hope you don't trip over some of the goodies. But yeah, very warm welcome to you, and lovely to have you at our prep and pre-prep open day. So my name is Craig Bird-Austin. I'm head of the prep school, and I will just be sharing a little bit about our prep vision and our prep story. And then I've got two very wonderful grade 7 students who will share a little bit of their story after me, and I think they can't wait to get this done. But Sadiera and Chris, well done. We look forward to what you have to say. And then prep families, we will take you on a tour thereafter, and then this is Carmen Weir, head of our pre-prep. We'll speak to the pre-prep thereafter, and then take you on a walkabout and a tour, and then we'll meet down in our outdoor learning space with some more tea and coffee. So right from the outset, I just want to share with you that we think big, right? We really want to think beyond the confines of a curriculum, beyond the confines of our classroom, and we really do challenge our children to think beyond and to think big. A few years ago, we had the first woman in space, and that really struck me as an analogy of what we do at the school. And I certainly do believe, hand on heart, that what we have at the school are individuals who think beyond, who are creative, who have critical thinking, and it would not surprise me one day to have a Somerset College student out there in space one day. I really do believe that our thinking is big, and we create pathways and we create a journey where we really do challenge our children to think beyond fixed lines. We like the lines to be bendy at times, and to really challenge our students to think beyond. So I thought I would start with that. That is the intention. We track our alumni. We know we have many of our students, past students, who are blazing a trail, not only locally, but globally. We do believe in establishing global citizens and students and members who will really go out there and set a trail and make them off. We started that conversation in the pre-prep and continue that conversation in the prep school. We really do encourage our students to really think beyond and to really shoot for the stars. So let me just explain a little bit about our environment, which you will see shortly. We're very, very confident that we have a very happy environment. I've been here now for 8 years, and we really have fostered a sense of happy children. The management team and the staff and my deputies are here to make sure, or to strive that our children skip to school. And I think many of our children do skip to school. They really cannot wait to come back the next day. My job is to get the staff to skip to school, so I'm not sure which one is easier or not. But we really do foster, I believe, a happy environment, a safe environment, a secure environment. And then, like I said, we had to learn, we had to grow. We really do foster a sense of creativity and critical thinking. And the more I do this, I do believe that our journey is one of hope. It is one of growth. At the end of our day, all our strategies, I think, say one thing. That it really is about every single child. We really do look at the individual. I think that's another strength of Somerset College, is that we really do zone in on the individual, their strengths, their talents, their skills, and what does their pathway look like. And obviously around that, bringing in teamwork and other aspects of education. We believe that we have systems in place that the children really do feel a sense of belonging. From our family groups, to our house meetings, to our assemblies, to our aspirational assemblies, we have so many different layers that I believe really do inculcate a sense of belonging, a sense of identity as they move through the pre-prep and into the senior school. Diversity, belonging and inclusion is very important to us, to the point that Wayne Bosch here in the front is head of a prep diversity committee, And as a staff and as a school, we go there, we have those conversations. What does inclusion mean? What does belonging mean? We have small group staff discussions, big staff meetings around this, and we really do foster and create a sense. Children really do feel a sense of belonging and included, and a sense of well-being, no matter who they are, no matter their background, no matter their culture. And I think that is the strength of the school. At the end of the day, as I'm sure you'll see as you walk around the school, there's a happy buzz, there's a smiley buzz, there are things happening in the classroom, children are challenged, they're running around, they're enjoying their lessons, and as I say, I believe that they do stick to school. So I thought I'd show you this slide. We have Dr. Ziersweek arriving on our shores next week. But in terms of that, we really do have these weeks and these celebrations where we dress up days and we do fun days, we do outings, we do a whole array of things. We have fancy sock days, do this day, do that day. And I think it's in those moments where, again, it creates a sense of inclusion and belonging. No matter the socks we wear, no matter what we look, no matter our language, no matter our history, no matter our background. And it's amazing to see the conversations that are happening in and around the school, on the playground, on the sports fields, in the cultural spaces, that these sorts of things are happening. So yeah, we're very excited about that. So I thought I'd just share a slide or two with you. So the top slide is our little Okie mascot. So in the junior prep, sort of coming out of grade R into the junior prep, we have a little Okie mascot. And the junior preppies, the grades 1 to 3, really love Okie. And Mr. Bevan, one of our deputies, pastoral, really does create a sense of Okie culture. And we have little, we've got quite a few little Okies around the school. And Okie joins classes, and Okie comes to assembly, and Okie goes on tour. And they have turns with Okie. Sometimes I forget to bring Okie to assembly, and I get into trouble. And then in chapel, we have Roland, who's our little chaplain. And we have verses of the year, and we start our week with assembly and coming together. That assembly is sometimes junior prep assembly or senior prep assembly. And we end our week with a chapel service, which is just a lovely way also to end the week off. So I think it's important to share about our people. So I think there's no doubt that we have a beautiful school. We have a beautiful campus, we have beautiful facilities. We certainly are growing through infrastructure, through fields, through curriculum, through STEAM centres, through outdoor learning spaces, and you'll see all those sorts of things. But I believe at the end of the day, it's about the people. And I really want to say that our staff are like this choir, right? Where everybody has a role to play, everybody brings a sound to the school. They bring their flavour, their sound, their instrument, and when we put it all together, I do believe it makes a wonderful sound. Sometimes I'm not going to sing or try to pretend to play an instrument, but if we put us all together, I do believe we are this choir, and I think the staff are incredible people. And I'm not just saying that, I've seen that for 8 years. Our staff go beyond the bell, they go really beyond the call of duty. No matter the hour, no matter the day, our staff are there, they avail themselves. They will call you in, they will chat to you, and they really are diligent and compassionate and empathetic about every single child. So I think the prep and the pre-prep and the senior school in Somerset College really does make this wonderful sound. We work hard at that, we pay attention to the detail, and yeah, I think that's important to know that. So our values are very, very important to us. We have what can be termed unusual values. So we have values such as dignity, aspiration, creativity, and contribution. And we speak to these values a lot. We break it down, obviously, age appropriate, but we certainly do challenge our children in terms of dignity, in terms of respect. What does that mean? So it's in our conversations, it's in our curriculum, it's in our forums, it's in our assemblies, it's in our gatherings. We have aspiration as another value, aspiring to be better versions, aspiring to think beyond ourselves, to look around, look at the collective and not just the singular, look at the plural. We have aspiration assemblies now, where we often get the senior school students to come down to a prep environment and inspire us through music or written or poetry or whatever it might be. Creativity is very important to us, as I've already mentioned and have on my slide. And contribution is absolutely paramount. So we need to be contributors, we need to be givers, we need to share. We need to share our privilege, we need to share what we have at the school. So our values are often spoken to, we enact them, we break them down for the children, and I think they're there in front of us. And then another big aspect of our school is that we encourage the children to really think in an academic sense, not just to accept status quo. Right? So be that in an English lesson, be that in a history lesson, be that in a science lesson, to really grapple with the content, to really challenge the content. Like, what is the same to me? Let me do some more research. How can I deep dive into getting to know this a bit more? So we really do encourage the children to think, to grapple, to be challenged, and then once you've done research or you've really thought something through, possibly be an agent of change. I called the grade 7s down, I do grade chats to the different grades throughout the term, and I spoke to the grade 7 students the other day about being agents of change. Look around you. What could you do as grade 7s? How could you lead differently? What are the aspects of the school where you think we need growth, where you could make a contribution, etc. So these things are very important to us and are very much part of our narrative and our story. So I try to do this as briefly as possible, but our academics, let me take you through those. So that's a busy slide. We do Cambridge curriculum from grades 1 to 6 in English, Maths and Science, and at the end of grade 6 we do a checkpoint on Cambridge. We also do IEB international benchmarking tests in grade 3, 5 and 7 as well. Once they come out of grade 6, they join the sort of IEB curriculum into grade 7, 8 and 9. And then once the students in grade 9, they can choose a Cambridge or an IEB exit. We have, and you'll see, we'll meet down there later on, we have an outdoor learning space. So I was very fortunate enough in the past few years to go to Finland. Been there twice, been to the States on certain visits, and really what I'm trying to say here is that we're always looking for best practice, right? It's not just a narrow cast or a mind or just in a South African context. We're always at the school looking beyond. What is best practice? What else can we bring? It's all about the children. How else can we support them in their learning? So we have in the prep an outdoor learning space. We believe that the outdoors and the environment is a big part of their learning. So we built that and have developed that in the last couple of years. We have a very strong student development unit, which is our support base with our children. So we have resident OTs and speech therapists and psychologists, resident educational psychologists, and we certainly are adding more support to our student development unit in order to support the children in whatever way they need. COVID may be over in some shape or form, but we are still seeing effects of COVID, anxiety, learning barriers, etc. So I believe we're still in that phase, and as a school we need to respond to that. Again, maybe narrowing in on each child and what do they need to cross the line. Our student development unit is very important to us. We do push academics, we do believe in a rigorous academic process, but at the same time we need to support and make sure that the children all cross the line, as I said. From grade 4 to 7, we have a device policy. We do embrace that. And going forward, from grade 4 to 7, we recommend that the children use Chromebooks. At the moment, they're using various devices, but it's a tool. It's not in totality. We do use devices in the lessons and in the classrooms, but we manage those very carefully. But we do embrace technology as part of our academics. We're a Google school. So coming out of COVID and during COVID, we had everything up and running as a Google school. The children certainly embraced that and adapted very quickly to online learning. And then STEAM is very, very special to us and very important to us, where we as a school believe that we need to focus on entrepreneurship, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics as focal points of our education. So in terms of our Cambridge curriculum, in terms of our STEAM pedagogy, we do believe that we are equipping our students for a life beyond school and a life out there to equip them. And then we break down our, so we'll speak about the pre-prep. In the prep space, we have our junior prep, which is grades 1 to 3, and then our middle prep, grades 4 and 5, and then our senior prep, grades 6 and 7. And we have key people overseeing those spaces and really, again, deep diving in those spaces to really understand that age group and not from an academic point of view. From our extracurricular, we run a very busy sports program. physical coach here in the front, the director of sport and phys ed, and oversees an ever-growing sports program from our phys ed program. We are embracing a high performance program across the college and slowly looking at unpacking that and what does that mean. We offer a wide range of sports. There's also private paid extramural sports that we offer. And I really do believe that our sports culture, especially coming out of COVID, we've really seen that the children thrive from a well-being point of view in being part of a sports program, in being part of movement and exercise and teamwork and camaraderie. So from our usual sports that we offer and a few others in between, we have, going into the winter season, I think we have 44 hockey teams that play on Thursday. We have a huge amount of cricket teams that play in the summer season, our rugby, and in our sport, trying to establish that sense of culture and that sense of belonging. So we encourage our first team preppies to stay behind and come and watch the under-9s and tap on the under-9s and just to have that sort of interaction between the team and, again, aspiration in terms of our sports program. Again, back to our STU, managing the workloads of children. So some children may struggle with the long days and trying to do all the sports, etc. But we look at that and certainly try to cater for those individuals who may be struggling a little bit, and we come alongside them and work out what's a reasonable response for them in terms of their day and their academics and balancing all the requirements. We have a vast coaching staff. I think what is a strength is that 80 to 90% of our prep staff also coach the children, and I think that really is important. So it's a busy academic day, but then you'll find 80-90% of our staff are now out there on the field, and they're coaching. And again, just developing those relationships. And we do, if you're a grade 7 teacher, we like you to be in the under 13 mix, really developing relationships beyond the classroom with the students and with the children. And we have a fantastic parent support across the school, not just in our extracurricular program. We have a thriving PA group of parents, and parents who really do come into the school and into the system looking to support. I think that relationship is very special. So our arts and culture program, also very, very important to us. We have a cultural elective program. I think there are 10, 12 different programs that are there, so from junior debating to this program to that program, in the mornings or later afternoons, drama clubs and all these sorts of things that the children love and we believe is very important and back to our esteem. Big A there being our arts and culture. We have our choirs up and running, very excited to have a grade R choir. Isn't that amazing? Our little grade R's are singing in a choir, and we had them sing to us on Monday in our aspiration assembly. We've got our junior and senior choirs up and running once again, and I think music is very, very important to us and a big part of our education and our curriculum. We've got our play back on this year, so we're running a grade 4 to 7 play later this year. We're very excited to have the children back on stage and performing. And it's amazing in that space how children find a voice and find a sense of belonging and identity as well. We have annual grade 6 plays, we have music concerts, we have art exhibitions, and take our voice beyond our gates. So I think as I soon come to an end, more and more, my narrative and my message to the community and to staff and parents is that as a school, I do believe we are beacon of light. We know that it's tough out there, we know circumstances out there are not always easy, but as a school, we really want to be a community-based place. This is not come to school, close the gates, and this is who we are, and that's who you are. We do believe that there's a relationship to be had, and that we as a school are this beacon of light. We do offer something exciting. We want to cast light, we want to share hope, we want to share privilege, we have a story to tell. We do foster a strong sense of kindness. I started this year with talking to the whole school around kindness, around manners, around our values, and how we speak to each other, how we look after each other. It is important to me, it is important to us how we speak, it is important how we behave, it is important how we win, how we lose, how do we handle those situations. I think there's a lot of learning to be had out on the sports field, in the cultural space, and in part of that journey, how we respond to certain things. And I put that there intentionally because that's not just from a child point of view, but it's also as a school. how do we respond to certain crises? How do we respond to things that may go awry? We as a school, we do respond. We do take things seriously. We do have, I believe, diligence in terms of responding to situations. How we look matters. And yeah, at the end of the day, I think it is the philosophy that we have here of engagement, of discourse, of having a conversation, having dialogue. We back out there from a community point of view. So as an example of that, our penultimate day this term, we have our Ubuntu Day. We recently had a conversation around, and the entire prep school goes out into the community, and we do something special in terms of twinning with other environments, or other schools, or other needs. We have from lake cleanups to beach cleanups to heartlands, different places. So we do believe as a school that we need to be out there in the community lending a helping hand. We recently ran a cricket initiative where we raised over 20,000 rand in literally a week. We got parents to sponsor certain cricket teams, and we've taken that money and we've turned with a school nearby, and we helped them build a facility, involved playgrounds and things. So community engagement is also very, very important to us. Yeah, I think as you will hear from our grade 7 shortly, but also beyond that, we do foster a sense that the students have a voice, that you have a right to a voice. You can speak up, you don't shout out or speak out, but we really do foster a sense of student voice. We have different forums. I meet children throughout the term, from grade 1s to grade 7s to grade 5s. I do grade club, like I mentioned. But the children do know that they have a say, they have a voice, that they're not here just to talk. We want to know what they think. We like children to be part of our decision making. Not that we're going to get 3 hour breaks, I think everyone's told. And long breaks and rest of days. So we do here within a reason. But yeah, just to say that student voices are valued. And I think often I say to staff, we make decisions sometimes at a high level, and we spoken to what the grade 7s might think, or what is their thinking on certain topics. So we really do also foster a student voice, which I think is very, very important. So finally, as I end off, just casting a light again, we continue to be and strive to be a school of choice, to drive transformation, drive diversity, inclusion, drive excellence, inspiration in all that we do. We continue to implement well-being initiatives way beyond COVID, continue to engage with our parents as much as possible, and at the end of the day, it is about every child. With all our strategies in place, and all our systems in place, at the end of the day, it really is about every child, and that they flourish, that they thrive, that they have a voice, that they feel secure, that they feel happy. So from pre-prep right through to prep, and when we send them up to the senior school, that they are ready to tackle the next phase and the next step of their education. Okay, at this stage, I'm going to call up our wonderful students. So Sagira is going to come first, and she's going to be followed by Chris, and they're just going to share a little story with you.
Good morning, staff and parents. I came to the school when I was just 8 years old, and I had left my former life behind in Joburg. I was very excited to come to my new school, but I was also feeling extremely anxious about what's to come. Then I learned that I'd be wearing a skirt in my new school uniform. The best look ever and so comfortable. Whoever thought of it was definitely a genius. That first night, I couldn't sleep from excitement. But I was also feeling extremely anxious as suddenly I was going to be the new kid. What if the people don't like me, or what if I never feel at home again? But I couldn't be further away from the truth. As soon as I came, I was welcomed by all the teachers and children. Now they are even closer to me than my friends I had in Joburg. Sometimes my mom says I'm like a boy in my house and that she's my Uber driver because I'm like almost never at home when I have free time. Everyone at Somerset College was welcome. I made sure I never felt lost. My first year of school was amazing. It felt like I'd always been there. Sadly, in grade 4, COVID hit and we had to go online. However, Somerset College was very prepared and made sure that we were learning and still somehow making it fun at the same time. Then task week came around. which is basically an example. They just say task to try hide the fact that it's quite intense. But trust me, it's scary enough without that word in grade 4. Going from writing small tests to then gradually taking us up to bigger tests wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. My sense is that we managed it quite fine because of the help and support provided by our teachers. They took so much time preparing us, like grade 5 felt like it was definitely one of my best years. They also encouraged us to live in the real world in grade 5. So in East Team, they introduced us to something called Real Life for Kids, where they teach us how the real world works and how to play tactics, and now I definitely understand my parents' pain. In grade 5, they teach us to have courage because we are now the big kids, and it can sometimes be scary. But they encourage us to have courage and to not be scared of anything. Going into grade 6 was super exciting, but it also had its ups and downs. Exams were introduced to us as a way of life, which was a slight shock to the system. It teaches you so much responsibility and makes it hard to falter. They teach us to be responsible for our actions and to be organized. The workload is more challenging, along with the fact that there are so many sporting activities keeping us busy. We had a grade 6 play at the beginning of the year at the Playhouse Theatre, which was just wonderful, from acting on a proper stage in front of crowds and to dressing up. And all the hours put in were definitely worth it in the end. But the best experience I had in grade 6 was the Orange River. Now let me tell you, I wouldn't trade this experience for the world. The school took around 40 of us to Namibia for a week, where we spent 3 days on the river living out of a barrel, and our day mainly consisted of rowing, swimming, laughing, getting sunburned, and eating quite a bit of salmon on the dolphin. Grade 6 was challenging, but it was all worth it at the end of the year. Now I'm in grade 7, and they expect us to be organized and to be on top of our work and help in events, and do many more things that grade 6 definitely prepares you for. The first 2 weeks were a bit challenging, with the workload being much more than grade 6 and all the different tests. So that's how I found Somerset College. They teach us independence, responsibility, and to not be scared of what's to come. Finally, I would like to leave you with the following 3 words of encouragement. Think, challenge, and change. Those are 3 words that Somerset College thrives on. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris, and I'm a proud member of the Somerset College community. As you all know, you guys are here today to put your son or daughter at the school, and I'll be telling you why you should. There are many reasons why I think Somerset College is the place to be. It all started back in pre-primary, where the teachers prepare you for the years to come, or as I knew, it's a big school. This has definitely made my first year of grade 1 a little less daunting, and the teachers were there every step of the way. Grade 2 was the year that we got introduced to public speaking. Public speaking, speeches throughout our school career, made me comfortable to speak like I am today. This was also the year we had our first camp, where we stayed away from our families for the first time. This was first of many adventures Somerset College has to offer. 2020. Somerset College went into online mode. Everything went from classroom to Google Classroom. Teachers finding new ways to teach and were successful. It was as if we never skipped a beat. Grade 5 was the year that teachers faced us into exams. So when we arrived at grade 6, exams didn't seem as scary as I once thought. Grade 6 was one of my personal highlights, since we had the great Orange River, definitely one to look forward to. Grade 7 has started off with a bang, and I'm so excited for what's to come, and I can confidently say that I'm probably prepared for any high school across the globe. As for college tradition, I cannot finish without a quote. Every great oak tree was once a tiny acorn, and they sure do turn us into great oak trees here.
Didn't they do well? Let's give them another round. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for listening to us from a prayer point of view. I'm going to hand over to Patricia.
Thank you. They're a really hard act to follow. And I think our first woman president is sitting in this room with us. Just to say that I'm from the admissions department, and so we are your first point of contact at the school. And for many I've chatted with some of you by email or on the phone, and I'm so pleased you're here. Thank you for coming. I just want to give you a bit of context because obviously an open day is all about showing you our beautiful school and encouraging you to want to be part of our school community. But I just need to add context in terms of the segregation, which is a reality, and every school in the Western Cape is under great pressure at the moment. And we are under exceptional pressure at the moment. And when I use the word waiting list, nowadays that really does mean a wait. But I don't want to put you off at all. I want to say that it is particularly difficult to find a place in the prep school in the next year or so. But if your child is not on our waiting list, we won't know about your child. We won't be able to phone you up and tell you there's a place available. It's a little easier in the pre-prep because we create an additional class in grade R. So if you haven't come in at 000, which is really the ideal place to start, then you have another window of opportunity in grade R. Our 00 class is just a little bit bigger than the 000 class. So we only take an additional 8 students into 00. So I want to say to you, please enjoy what you see and please apply because that's how you'll get into the school. And I've been here 7 years and I've seen the most remarkable things happen to waiting lists. Sometimes you think there's no way anybody's going to get into grade 3 next year, and suddenly people emigrate or dad is transferred or there's a change in the family and suddenly things open up. And we've been blown away at how many people we've been able to place at the school when we thought that the waiting list was stuck. So I do want you to encourage that please don't run away from here thinking, we'll never get in. You will just need to be patient, and I would encourage you to apply as soon as possible. Then you are better placed on the waiting list. So applications are made online via our website. If you go to the home page and you look at admissions, then you'll be able to see where your online is. Now, I hope I've really not discouraged you. You see what a great school we are, and for those of you who are leaving now to look, I can say our grade 7s, grade 7 is not a problem to get into because there we create an additional class as well. But for the other grades, it's very tight. But please apply, be on that list, and we'll roll you over year by year, and your time will come. Thank you. So now we're going to head off on the tour. So if you are looking for a place for your child in the prep school, will you please move out of this door, and then our staff are going to lead you in the groups. Yes, so for the pre-preps, we've got a few more things to tell you because there's a lot of information, a lot of questions around pre-preps. This is your very special small child coming to us, and so we're going to just chat a little bit longer. Right, so everybody else here is looking at 000 to grade R. And this is Carmen Weir, who's our head of our pre-prep. She's got lots of information for you, and then we'll go and have a look at how it really works in the
Right, thank you, Patricia, and welcome again, parents. I know that you've been sitting for a while. I'll try and get through this quite quickly, but I'd like to welcome you to Somerset College Pre-Prep, and it's lovely to have you here with us this morning. As you know, my name is Carmen Weir, and I'm the head of the Pre-Prep school. I was a school principal in Pretoria for 8 years, and I've been at Somerset College since the beginning of 2021. I have 2 children of my own. Our daughter turns 22 next week, and a son who's 19. So I would say that with my 29 years of experience in education and what I consider two relatively well-balanced and adjusted young adults of my own, I'm in a perfect position to be able to guide parents of young children in their journey through school and what lies ahead. And that is exactly what we are here at Somerset College. It's a partnership and a support as you have to navigate the complexities of raising little children in a very big world. I said to our parents at the start of this year in our information evening that our job collectively is not to toughen our children up to face this cruel and heartless world, but really to raise our children who will make the world a little less cruel and heartless. This can only be achieved if there is synergy between home and school. And that's why we're all here today, to have a look at our school. This presentation is going to form the information part of our tour. It's far more difficult to give you information as we're touring in a big group, so this is going to be far more informative, and we're hoping to answer questions that you might have as we're walking around having a look. So, at our school, we have incorporated our value of the nest and how we nurture and support your children, but in the likelihood and the eventual fledglings having to fly. So we support and encourage, but there's a long road ahead of you, and you start now as you aim to finish. So the nest is synonymous with our ability to support you in this journey. At our school, we have experienced teachers, dedicated, compassionate women who teach in our school with an assistant in each classroom. We welcome children in grade 000 who are 3 turning 4, and we have 2 grade 000 classes with a maximum of 16 children in each of the 2 classes. Their school day is from 8:30 to 12. Then we also welcome children in grade 00 who are 4 turning 5. We have 2 grade 00 classes with a maximum of 20 children in each class, and their school day is from 8 until 12:30. And in grade R, our children are 5 turning 6, and as Patricia mentioned, there we have 1 extra class, so we have 3 grade R classes. 2 of the classes can take a maximum of 22 children, and 1 takes a maximum of 20 children. Their school day is also from 8 until 12:30. The door at the entrance to the pre-prep school is locked at 8 o'clock each morning, so if you are late, we ask that you ring the bell and we'll let you in. It is a requirement at our school that all children coming into the pre-prep are fully potty trained. We also encourage that all the children are hygiene friendly, that they are able to manage their hygiene and toilet routines as well, especially as they go up through grade 00 to grade R. Our school optimizes the early years through a play-based approach. You would have heard this spoken about, I'm sure, quite often. But children do learn best through play. There is great importance in your child exploring their natural environment and having adventures. Through playing games, your children learn to test their physical limits and express themselves and build their self-confidence. Outdoor play means mess, and more mess means more learning. During play, children also learn to take more risks. They have to learn to be more adventurous, and they learn to negotiate with one another, how to get along with one another, how to make their own rules, and how to compromise. All the skills that they need, and they learn this through play. Research shows that a child's mental health is highly affected by their level of unstructured playtime. The skills learned during this play help lower their levels of stress and anxiety, and we can see that at our school, at playtime when children have unstructured play and they're able to be risk takers, adventure seekers, and all the opportunities that we know they need for optimal learning to take place. Our school sets the foundation for lifelong learning, and it's in an integrated curriculum which prepares the children for the Cambridge curriculum in the prep school. So that's no mean feat. You might be wondering, play-based Cambridge curriculum in grade 1, and it is quite a balancing act. But we believe in a healthy balance of structured academic program and time with unstructured playtime. So we find that balance between the two. And it prepares our children for the Cambridge curriculum in grade 1. But that doesn't mean that we overstimulate them with academic knowledge, because academic knowledge at a young age is no predictor of your child's future success. What your children need at this age are the skills that will enable them to be lifelong learners and to learn as an academic curriculum sort of flows through later in their school careers. So children need to learn these important skills in order to build that strong foundation. But they do have to have acquired certain competencies by the end of grade R when they are ready to move into grade 1. If there are concerns, we do suggest school readiness tests so that we are sure that we are sending your children into grade 1 with the competencies they need for the Cambridge curriculum. Craig mentioned earlier we have a supportive SDU team, which is really beneficial for us in the pre-prep, comprised of our educational psychologists, an occupational therapist, and a speech and language therapist. We find the integration and support from these professionals with our team of teachers to be valuable. It is a fact of life that some of your children may need support on their learning journey. There are barriers to learning for some children, and that doesn't mean that they are not able to learn. It means they may need support, and that's exactly why we have the student development unit, so that we can support your children. It is simply a fact of life today that more children may need support. And research shows it's got a lot to do with how little our children play outdoors. Perhaps we are more anxious as parents, we live in a different world, they don't climb as much, they don't use their big and small muscles as much, and they are exposed to so much more technology and TV. So that all has an impact on your child's learning journey. Our school builds a solid foundation for skills to develop. Our curriculum incorporates a vast array of developmental areas, and each of these have to be well established for optimal learning to take place. As parents, your role is consistently and emphatically to work on these areas of your child's development. It's working on all those areas of their development, and you'll see them there. Their social and emotional development, their gross and fine motor development, their creative development, their foundation for literacy and numeracy. And again, I just want to point out that doesn't mean you need to teach them to read at the age of 3. You need to give them the skills so that they have a foundation for literacy to develop, for numeracy to develop, their perceptual and cognitive development, and their discovery through our ST program. So your job never stops, and it doesn't happen in stops and starts either. It is authentic, intentional, and consistent parenting that builds a strong foundation for your child. Your most important job consists of, but is not limited to, reading to your children every day, instilling and reinforcing your family values, which we hope will align with our school values. That you are able to select opportunities for your children to explore and to discover. That you encourage stimulating environments and experiences for your children. That you create boundaries for your children, because they live in a world where you do have to abide by rules. There are boundaries in place, and children thrive when there are boundaries. They want to know how far they can push you, and you're their parent, and they are their child, and so it is your job to install and enforce those boundaries. And it is also important that you teach your children to care and have empathy for all those around them. Our school encourages community engagement, right slide, through partnerships with various schools and communities in need, as well as environmental awareness and age-appropriate philanthropy. Our children have to learn to think about others and to escape the entrapment of an entitled life. That is just a recipe for disaster. Remember now to parent with the end result in mind. If you think the 2s and 3s are tough, you haven't tried 13 or 16 yet. So make sure you parent now with the end goal in mind. And having children who are aware of communities and those in need and someone else around them, and not an entitled attitude, will make the world of difference when your children are teenagers. Right, on to Our academic program includes a variety of skills and opportunities for your children to learn. The first one is swimming, which is done throughout the school day. All the children have an opportunity to get into our pool, which you'll see when we take them down. We do ball skills throughout the year with our own first aid teacher and an integrated motor program in winter, because in winter when we don't swim, then we introduce the integrated motor program. All these aspects, again, the skills development that your children need. If the big muscles can work well and in a coordinated manner, the little muscles will follow. And there comes the skills like writing eventually, etc. So we work on a really extensive gross motor program so that we can build those skills for your children. We have classes where all the children go to music during the week, and then we have library visits with grade double milk and grade R children. The grade triple milk children get the library books delivered to them, and they still take library books home. There are requirements for these activities, but that will all be communicated to you through pamphlets and information brochures. We also have a very strict no hats, no play policy. So we encourage you to make sure your children have their hats, and it's a wonderful opportunity to teach your children the first part of responsibility. When you drop your hat, make sure you pack your hat, because it's no hat, no play. And the children don't want to play, and so they remember their hats. Right, aftercare is part of our inclusive offering. Aftercare runs from 12 to 5:30 for the triple milk children. The triple milk children do sleep and rest when they get down to aftercare, and so that sleep rest time between 12:30 and 2 is a non-disturbed rest sleep time. I'm sure for those of you that struggle to get 1 or 2 children down for a nap and then to be disturbed, it's heartbreaking. And so for us that are trying to get 22 or more children down for a nap or a rest, if there's constant interruptions or children having to go home, it really is quite soul destroying. So we encourage you, if your children are going to stay from 2:30, if they're in triple milk, that they are resting and that you don't collect them until 2:30 when everyone gets up and ready to go out and play again. They don't all sleep, but in term 1, most of the children do fall asleep and they are quite exhausted after a busy school day. Aftercare for the grade double milks and grade R's is from 12:30, which is when their school day ends, to 5:30. We do at aftercare issue fines for late arrivals. Our staff have their own children to go and fetch, so we do ask that you respect their time and that we are available until 5:30. We offer pre-care in a classroom at the pre-prep school for pre-prep children only if you need an early drop-off. So that would be from 7 a.m. until 7:30. We ask that you, an adult or a caregiver, sign your children into that pre-care so that we are, taking your children from you and you're signing them into us for pre-care. Extramurals, we do offer a wide variety of extramurals for our grade double milks and grade R children. I caution you not to overload your children with too many extramurals. We spoke already about unstructured playtime. Children still need unstructured playtime, and the extramurals are quite structured. It's good if they have an inclination for something or a passion for something. You can register them. We have a wide variety. It's on our website. You can have a look. We don't encourage children in grade 3 to take part in any extramurals. Coming into a school environment, adapting to everything that is taking place, new school, new teachers, new friends. Aftercare is a wonderful opportunity if they're there to just play and relax and have that unstructured playtime. And actually, most of the time, it's just a waste of money because they're not really ready for the structure of an extramural. If they play cricket, they probably threw the grass out more than they ball. So, everything in its time. When they're in double milk, you can sign them up for an extramural, and it's a good way to save money too, because then you have it ready for them when they are interested in a sport or whatever it might be. Right. We have events and special days in the pre-prep, just like Craig mentioned about the prep school. We have visitors in though. We're definitely not going to take our children on any camps or overnights anywhere. In fact, not even on a bus into somewhere far away. we like to bring the visitors into our school where we expose the children to wonderful either puppet shows or reptile shows. We do dress-ups for Valentine's Day, and we certainly look at celebrating where we can. It's all age appropriate, so that is, and I just want to say this, don't get confused between the prep or having dress-up days like Dr. Tuesday. That's not a pre-prep event, and you'll soon see how we communicate that. You'll know when it returns. It is always good to delay gratification. Some things in life you just have to wait for, like driving at 18. So if you teach your children now to wait their turn, you'll probably be better off not having them take your car when they're 60. Everything in its time and in its place. We do include parent talks as well on relevant topics. I find that as the world has changed, and as we have changed, we need to look at how we can empower our parents to better parent in this world that's changing so quickly. So we often get speakers in and we look for relevant topics and we present them and we encourage our parents to join us. We do make use of engaging Seesaw as platforms for communication with our parent body. Seesaw is a wonderful way for you to interact on a regular basis with what your children are doing in the classroom. The teachers spend an inordinate amount of time uploading photos for you. We ask our parents to actually interact on that platform. It's a wonderful tool for you. And Engage is our communication platform. We welcome you now to join us as we walk down to the pre-prep. Please can I ask you to be mindful of the fact that it is a regular school day. These are lots of little bodies, so we are going to have, the doors are locked, so we'll ring when we get there. Please make sure that doors are closed behind you. If I open the gate for you, that it's closed once you're through, because we don't want any children escaping. That's why the doors are closed, and we are quite conscious of safety and security. Also refrain, please, if you don't mind, from taking videos or photographs of children that you might see in the classrooms. But we will be able to pop our heads in. The teachers are happy to, they're going to carry on as the school day is. But if they have a gap and you have a question, you're welcome to ask them. I think that was all from me. I think Patricia is the guru on dividing us into groups, which might make it easier for us to do our tour.
And I'm so pleased, it's very simple today.
Yes.
If you are interested in grade 000, 3 turning 4 in that year, then Carmen is going to give you a special tour into 000. And if you are interested in 00 and grade R, then Judith and I, we're together in the admissions office, then we will give you a tour to those schools.